Hello and welcome to Foster Talk with Dr. John on this Thursday night. I had to remember that here. Thursday night, July the 8th, 2021, coming to you from Florida. That's right. I'm not at the Foster Care Institute. Right now, I am in the great state of Florida on a vacation, working vacation with my family right now, but a vacation nevertheless. And I wanted to make sure that I spent the next 30 minutes with you because I love coming together with you. I love every Thursday nights we do this. We come together as foster parents, as adoptive parents, as kinship parents. We come together to give each other the help that we need, right? The support that we need, right? So I want to say thank you so much for joining us. Welcome. Glad you're here with us tonight. So for the next 30 minutes, we're going to answer your foster care questions. We're going to give each other, you and I, the support, the help that we need as foster parents, as kinship parents, as parents in general. So again, we do it every Tuesday and Thursday night. Most Tuesdays and Thursday nights, we do it right here, 7 to 7:30 p.m. live. I'm your host, Dr. John DeGarmo, founder, director of the Foster Care Institute, and foster parent myself to over 60 plus children have come through my home and my family. And guess what? I'm here to tell you that while foster parenting has been the hardest thing I've done, and it has been hard, there are times I felt I can't do this. It's also been at the same time the most rewarding thing I've ever done as well. Every child, you've heard me say this before, every child has made me a better person in some way, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to care for so many children who have come through my home, so many kids who have become part of my family. I want to say hello to Elena. Elena's here tonight. I want to say hello to Linda. Linda's here tonight. Kevin is here. Glad to see you tonight here, Kevin. Wanda's here. Teresa's here too. Jeremiah is here. Michelle is here. And I see that Tony's here too. Hey guys, glad you're here with us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. So we are here tonight. Yes, Foster Talk with Dr. John. Hey Kim, glad you're here with us tonight. What we do is we provide help, give each other the help, the resources, the support that we need as foster parents. Because the truth is this, you know this to be true. As foster parents, you know this to be true. Foster parenting is such a different type of lifestyle, such a unique style of living, a unique lifestyle. I call it a unique lifestyle. It's so different than anything else. Your friends don't understand it. Your family members don't really appreciate it. Those people closest to you, they really don't understand completely what you do and the challenges associated with it. So that's why it's so important that we come together as foster parents, as adoptive parents. Yeah, it's a unique lifestyle. When kids come into your home, when they come to my home and your home, when they come to our homes filled with anxiety, filled with trauma, attachment issues, eating disorders, anger management issues, issues of trust, and so much more. Hey, that's tough. It's tough. It's challenging. We can burn out. We can be stressed out. We can experience feelings of grief and loss when they leave our home. I do. It's like losing one of our children, right? At the same time, it's so rewarding. So we come together to help each other. So with that in mind, 3 rules. Rule number 1 is this. If there's someone that you know is a foster parent, hey, do us all a favor. Tag them, write their name and tag them. Invite them to join us so we can help them, so we can lift them up and support, so we can provide the need and maybe learn from them too. Hey, Amanda, glad you're here with us tonight. Rule number 2, no questions ever off limits with me. I love questions. If you've read my books, you know I love questions. So get those fingers flying. Anything you want to ask tonight, parenting, foster care, adoption, kinship. Maybe you're struggling right now with the visitations. Maybe you're struggling with birth parents. I had a foster care counseling session, or one-on-one personal coaching session the other day with some people who are struggling with visitations. I had another coaching session with another set of foster parents who are struggling with the fact that the child had left their home, the child they're caring for in their home left their home, and they're trying to reunification, but the reunification went wrong and wondering how the child can come back. And whatever you want to ask. Maybe you want to ask about some of my experiences as a foster parent, or the brand new article I wrote today about the rise, the spike of suicide in teens and children during COVID-19. Again, no questions off limits. We want to make sure we answer your questions tonight during these next 30 minutes. And the 3rd rule, my favorite rule. I know a lot of you love this rule too. Hey, Michelle. Glad you're here this tonight. I want to see who else is here tonight. Who else is with us here? I see that, who is there? Oh, hey, Kelly, glad you're here tonight. And I see that Lisa's here too. Glad you guys are here. The third rule, my favorite rule, if somebody asks a question tonight, or if someone makes a statement or writes something, you think, Dr. John, wait a minute, Dr. John, wait, I've been there, done that. I'm the expert. We want to hear from you. Want to hear how you handled it. Want to hear how you addressed it, because I will learn from you, right? We will learn from you. Elena wants to know how many biological children you have. Well, my first child died of a condition called anencephaly or anencephaly. I have 3 biological children. I've adopted 3 children from foster care, and I've had 4 failed adoptions, which means for some reason the adoptions did not work out. So 6 children with their last name DeGarmo attached to it, but every child that's come through my home, 60 plus kids, are all a member of my family in some way. Thank you for asking, Elena. All right, Gail's here. Hello, Gail. Welcome to Foster Talk with Dr. John. So glad you're here. Kinship here. The system is so unfair to the kids. Why has the system not changed in so many years? Well, Gail, actually the system does change, but we have to remember that there are 50 different states, 50 different ways of doing foster care. Every state is different. Every state does it differently, and some states are more. Some states are doing a better job. Let me ask you that. Some states are doing a better job in adopting and changing rules. Some states not so much. It really depends upon where you live. I work with legislators across the nation on foster care issues. Some of the states are doing better jobs than others. To be quite honest with you. But I appreciate you asking. I would ask, where do you live, Gail? What state are you living in? And what are some things you're struggling with as well? To be sure, the system is a flawed one. It is absolutely flawed. No state does it perfectly. Some states do it better than others. And in addition, many of our legislators really aren't focused on things related to foster care. Again, I appreciate you asking. Hey, if you the other day, our brand new edition of the Foster Care newsletter went out with the Foster Care feature article of the week, the Foster Care news of the week, the Foster Care 101 video tip, the Foster Care webinar of the week, the motivational moment, so much more. If you don't get the Foster Care Institute newsletter, I want to make sure that you get it. Just type in "I want newsletter," put your email address. I want newsletter. Put your email address. We'll make sure that you get that newsletter. Tonight, I want to make sure that we share it with you. Hey, this is Foster Talk with Dr. John. I am your host, Dr. John DeGarmo, founder and director of the Foster Care Institute, and we are answering your questions here live during the next 25 minutes or so. My family's on vacation right now, and I'm here with you. So I'm glad that you're here. All right, I'm just replying here to an email comment here. We are live on another video. Here we go. Just refresh the page and we are on the top. This is an old video. All right, somebody was responding questions to an old video there. I want to make sure they join us here live tonight. So I appreciate that. Okay, Gail goes on to say, they take these kids from home, then put them back when home is no better than it was at removal. Gail is in Arkansas. Yes, Gail, sometimes that does happen. Sometimes children are removed, sometimes when they should not be. But, a lot of states are really figuring that out right now. There's a big stress right now on kinship in much of the United States. Hey, Kevin is here. Can I do a safety plan if they live with the mother? Okay, so Kevin, well, first of all, Kevin, I would ask you this. Appreciate you asking, Kevin, and thank you for being here. Hey, Linda, glad you're here. Appreciate you being here tonight, Linda. Kevin, so my question would be this. Are these your children? Are these children were they children in foster care, in your home as a foster parent, and they've gone back to live with your biological mother? Just give me a little bit more information there, Kevin. I'm really unclear as to these children. Are these children living with you? Are you a registered foster parent? Are they living with their biological mother? Just a little bit more insight there, to give me a little bit more clarity so I can better answer your questions, right? I appreciate it. Again, if you don't get the Foster Care Institute newsletter, please type in "I want newsletter," put your email address. Tomorrow morning, we're going to have the Foster Care video tip of the week. And foster care in 5 words. Can't wait to share that with you. Nene's here. Nene says, Kinship here. Just recently got my nephews. They are 2 and 2 months old. I've had them for a little over a month. My question is, when they have visitation with bio mom, The 2-year-old has a hard time that evening at the visitation. Should I tell my case manager? Absolutely, you should. And more importantly, you need to be documenting what you see. You need to be documenting the change in the child's behavior and any anxiety levels that you might see before and after, pre-visitation, post-visitation, and nay. Make sure you do it in the proper documentation form. If you don't know how to document, please, nay, tonight, go to the Foster Care Institute, type in, and watch the webinar, The Importance of Documentation. You need to watch that to be sure. Christina, we will get that newsletter to you. Look forward tonight. Linda's here. So TPR data set for August. What happens after the TPR mom has not been around for, I believe, 14 months and dad has passed? It depends upon, hey, we'll get that newsletter to you too. It depends upon a lot of things, to be sure, Linda. Every state's different. Every agency's different. Every judge might look at it differently. Once TPR is set, normally what they do is there'll be a search for any biological family members, aunts, uncles, grandparents, cousins, older siblings, or kinship. They'll look for anybody in the surrounding area, maybe even state, maybe even the nation, looking for somebody related to the child who might want to take the child in. If not, then adoption is usually the case, and that might usually go to the foster parents. I've adopted 3 from foster care. You know this, Linda, from my book, Fostering Love, One Foster Parent's Journey, right? Of course you do. And I've had 4 failed adoptions as well. All right, Audrey, hello. We're going through the questions here fast because I'm getting a lot of questions. Hey, Audrey. And if I missed your question, please retype it in. This is Foster Talk with Dr. John. Audrey, hi. Did the foster child lose their insurance when adopted? Audrey, many states have what is known as adoption subsidy, where there's a subsidy as well, and the insurance should still be there. Yes, you should still continue to have the insurance. Now remember, every state is different, but most likely your children will still be under insurance. Mine are. I've adopted 3. Hey, Samantha, welcome. I just turned down a placement having lots of guilt regarding it. Samantha, I've written about this a lot in the book Faith in Foster Care. Please pick up a copy of that book. I write about how sometimes we need, as foster parents, to say no. No is a word we need to know because, Samantha, let me assure you, you are not the best placement for every single child in foster care. You have strengths, Samantha, that I don't have. I have strengths that you don't have. So it's okay to say no because sometimes you can't care for the child's specific needs, specific requirements. You have to ask yourself, is this a good fit for me? Am I a good fit for this child? Can I provide what the child needs? Can I provide the specific resources, support systems the child needs? So it's okay to say no. Please don't feel guilty. There's another child out there who you're going to be perfect for. Angela will get that newsletter to you. Hey, Jordana. Welcome to Foster Talk with Dr. John. My goodness, your questions are coming fast and furious here. Trying to answer them all tonight. Jordana, TPR occurred 1.5 years ago, and the caseworker is still trying to get a hold of her birth certificate so she can get social and move on to adoption. Isn't this unfair to the child that she still has the same age as she was a year and a half ago? Yes, Jordana, I absolutely believe it's unfair. Absolutely. We struggled with that as well. Yes, I agree. It's not fair for the child to be in that limbo, so to speak, limbo stage, so to speak, and it's not fair for you as well. It's hard. Jordana, I've been exactly where you've been. I've been exactly where you have been. Again, 3 adoptions. You know this, Jordana, from my books, right? And you've seen my TED Talk and my other things, right, Jordana? And I've had 4 failed adoptions. I've been exactly where you have been. It's hard, yes, but still continue to hang on there because and ask the caseworker how you can help. How you can help in this process. Maybe ask the caseworker, is there anything that I can do to help move this process along, to help lift this load from you? Caseworkers are overworked, overwhelmed, under-resourced, underpaid. So just tell her thank you for all that she's doing, all the support she's given you, and of course, ask her how you can help. Hope that helps you. Samantha will get that newsletter to you. Kim will get that newsletter to you too. Thank you so much. Lisa, welcome to Foster Talk with Dr. John. How can DCS put kids back with parents when mom is facing abuse charges? Lisa, you've read my books, haven't you? It's happened to me. How? Because reunification is the end goal of foster care. We know, sadly, that 20 to 30% of children in foster care who are reunified, and that's 50% are reunified, 20 to 30% come back into care because of things just like you say right there. And those kids are often filled with more anxiety. That's why I was in Washington, D.C. last summer with my good friend Jen Lilly. You probably know from all those Hallmark movies. She's a celebrity actress. Also a foster parent. We were working with legislators on what you're talking about, pre-reunification. It's hard. It is hard, Lisa, but that's why you need to stay in contact with those birth parents. Hey, watch the webinar here, Lisa, tonight at the Foster Care Institute, Birth parents and foster parents working together. Birth parents and foster parents working together. Also, when a child leaves, watch that one as well, because you can find out how you can help those children when they go back to mom, because you need to do that, still be a part of their life, okay? Josh will get that newsletter to you tonight. Thank you for asking. Angela, welcome to Foster Talk with Dr. John. What expectations should I have for guardian ad litem advocating for a foster son for? Caseworkers CYS has not turned in paperwork in timely manner, because of COVID most likely, and has caused our son not to be able to get behavioral services and therapy and screenings. It's happening all over the nation, Angela, because of COVID. It's one of the effects, and I'm far more concerned about any mental health issue than I am of any virus. I've said that time and time again. Caseworker also changed visitation time out of nowhere, which prevented foster son from having continuation of therapy services. Guardian ad litem is aware, but appears to have done nothing. Is this not something guardian ad litems help with? They might help, Angela, but the guardian ad litems, they do a great job, but sometimes they don't do all it well. You might want to ask your guardian ad litem, Angela, what is it that you can do? Notice, hey, I notice this has not been done, or the child's suffering as a result of this. Is there anything that I can do to help you with your work? Is there anything that I can do to help you make this happen? Angela, that's what I would do. And of course, Angela, it's so important that you document all of this. Documentation are the three most important words you have to do as a foster parent, my friends. The most important thing you can do as a foster parent, you've got to document everything. And I mean everything. For so many reasons, taking care of the children and protecting yourself from false accusations, false allegations. If you don't know how to document properly, because if you don't do it properly, you could get yourself in trouble, please watch the webinar, our number one webinar. We have over 60 hours of online training webinars right here at the Foster Care Institute. Our number one, week after week, month after month, year after year, is the importance of documentation. So Angela, watch that webinar and talk to your guardian ad litem. Say, hey, what can I do to help you? And of course, flatter them a little bit. Say, thank you so much for all that you've done. What else can I do to help you? Hello, Patricia. Welcome to Foster Talk with Dr. John. Before we get to Patricia, hey, tomorrow morning, our brand new newsletter comes out tomorrow morning. I want to make sure you get it. Type in I want newsletter, put your email address. I want newsletter, put your email address. We'll get that newsletter to you tonight. A lot of you tonight have been talking about a number of issues that we already have at the Foster Care Institute training webinars. You've heard me say this a lot tonight. Before I get to Patricia's question and a number of other questions here, if you're looking for training, online training, resources, 12 free ebooks, and CEU and licensing hours for 2021 and 2022, please sign up tonight for the Foster Care Institute special membership. You will not regret it. I promise you, the price is so cheap. Patricia, do you have a book about the bio mom and what they go through while children in foster care? I know they're messed up, but I feel so bad for bio moms. I have only real good moms, and they all get their children back. Patricia, check out the book, Faith and Foster Care. You can get it at the Foster Care Institute. Just go to the bookstore, Foster Care Institute, or look for Dr. John DeGarmo, Foster Care Expert. We've got a section in there about birth parents, all right? Because, they're suffering, so many times they're suffering from their own trauma. They're filled with their own anxiety. They've never got the therapy and help sessions that they needed, and they're struggling as a result. So check out the book, Faith and Foster Care, Patricia. I think it's one you're going to find very valuable. Thank you for asking. Hey, Christina, welcome to Foster Talk with Dr. John. I have my first two placements, 7-year-olds and 2-year-olds. The 7-year-old's autistic, high-functioning. The 2-year-old, and can say a total of 5 words. Mom treats him as a complete baby. He's also showing signs of autism as well. They are from a different country. What can I do to help them more? Angela, if you read my book, Love and Mayhem, I think I write about it in that book. I think so. I have to remember. We had a 4-year-old child who could not say any word, just went, and grunted. Tragic. Well, they're from a different country, so I have to ask you this, Angela. Were these children placed in foster care coming over the border? Were they unaccompanied minors coming over the border? I would have to know a little bit more about your situation. Angela says no. So when you say they're a different country, are they in foster care anyway? All right. First of all, to begin with, they need therapy. They need professional therapies and counseling sessions that you can give them. All right. We're all experts in some area. but I am not an expert in autism and high functioning. I'm not a speech therapist. I would take my children to a speech therapist. I would take my children to a therapist of some kind, a counselor. So I would encourage you to do that. Angela says, so they're yes in their foster care. Okay, so ask your caseworker to provide resources and therapeutical services for the children. All right, that's what I would encourage you to do. Patricia will get that newsletter to you. Thank you so much for asking. Look for it later tonight and the new one tomorrow morning. All right. Hey, I just saw a number of you. 3 people right now just signed up for the Foster Care Institute special membership. So glad you did. You're going to get access to over 60 hours of online training webinars pretty much right now. Appreciate it. Angela says, thank you. My pleasure, Angela, my pleasure. Your caseworker is there to support you. Your caseworker is there to support you. At the same time, you need to support your caseworker. That's why it's so important, caseworkers and foster parents working together as a team. It's one of our webinars here. And you know, every webinar you watch, here's the best part. Every webinar you watch, you can download the certificate, type your name and date on it, print it out, and you've got 1 hour training for your licensing to stay licensed for 2021 and next year as well. And of course, my name's already on it. So it's perfect. You're going to love it. You're going to love it, love it, love it. All right, Foster Talk with Dr. John. I'm your host, Dr. John DeGarmo, founder, director of the Foster Care Institute, answering your questions tonight. And these have been great questions so far. We've got about maybe 5-6 more minutes left here. I'm going to make sure that we get your questions. And if I missed your question for some reason tonight, it's because they're coming so fast and furious. Would you do me the favor? Just go ahead and retype it in there, or just copy and paste it so I can make sure I get to your question. I think I might have missed a few tonight. Stephanie says, why is it so hard to find daycare for foster kinship kids? So many daycares won't accept the state pay. Also, I saw the stipend in Missouri is so low. Why? Wow, that's a hard question to answer there, Stephanie, about the stipend. Every state's different. Every state is different. I've seen some states who offer a lot of stipend money. I've seen some states who are woefully low, like Missouri. I've had the opportunity to work with Missouri foster parents and child welfare agencies. They do great work, but you're right. The daily per diem is not as high as it should be. Daycare. You know, daycare is simply different in every area. It's every area. 50 different states, 50 different ways of doing daycare. Every city's different. Every daycare is different. You know, my wife and I have had over 60 kids come through our home as foster parents. You know this from my books, right? The same time same time as Stephanie, we found a great daycare who would take all of our kids. Anytime we had a child in foster care, they would say, we'll take them. Because we had developed a relationship over the years with that daycare. They weren't, the owner of the daycare, she had a love for children in foster care. She couldn't be a foster parent herself, but she felt the way she could help foster kids in foster care, and ourselves as foster parents was to take those children in. So, you know, it's really a thing about something about your own area. So find a daycare, explain to them what's going on, explain you got a child in foster care in your area, and if they could help you out and help the children out. And then cultivate that relationship. That's really all I can offer you there. And Christy, and if you want to be an advocate to raise those prices, Stephanie, your per diem, your stipend pay, then contact your local legislators in your area and let them know that it's time to raise those prices. All right. Christina's here. Hello, Christina. Welcome to Foster Talk with Dr. John. Just received a placement who came from a previous foster home, multiple displacement disorders. I was told TPR hearing is coming up this month. What should I expect? This is my first placement. Christina, congratulations. Welcome to the wonderful journey that is foster parenting. It is an exciting time to be sure, but challenging. Christina, I'm going to point you right now to the book, The Foster Parenting Manual. The Foster Parenting Manual. Go to my website, the Foster Care Institute, order a signed copy. I'll send you a copy in the mail. You need to read that. What should you expect? Well, I would ask you this. Are you open to adoption of a child? TPR, when TPR happens, generally, we talked about this a little bit earlier tonight, generally, there'll be a search for any biological family members, kinship members, if you will, birth family members, aunts, uncles, grandparents, cousins who might wish to adopt a child. If they can't find somebody who wants to care for the child that's related, then many times first choice of adoption goes to the foster parent. This happened to me 3 times. And so I would ask you this. Are you open for adoption? Because if you are, let the caseworker know. If you're not, let the caseworker know that this is your first time as a foster parent. You're not quite ready for that just yet. If that's the case, they'll most likely move the child and place it into another foster home, which might be why they moved it from the previous home. Maybe that family was not ready for adoption, or maybe hoping to adopt. There's many scenarios there, Christina. Hope I explained that again to you. And Christina, again, get the book, The Foster Parenting Manual. It's a book you need, okay? All right, you want to adopt? Great. Well, then we got a whole chapter about adoption, chapter 14. And also make sure, Christina, you need to know this. 65% of adoptive parents experience post-adoption depression syndrome. Post-adoption depression syndrome, which means adoptive parents like you experience depression after adoption. More than half do. Watch the webinar we have the foster parents do about post-adoption depression. Josh, hello. Any recommendations for kids with eating issues? We have a foster boy who eats so much and so fast it makes him sick sometimes. Oh, I've been there so many times, Josh. Eating disorders are very common in children in foster care. Very, very common. You're going to need to get some, well, I can't even begin to start there. There's so much information, Josh, I've got to give you. Unfortunately, we've got about 2 minutes left. So, Josh, I'm going to point you to one of our brand new webinars here at the Foster Care Institute, Eating Disorders and Children in Foster Care. Eating Disorders and Children in Foster Care. Josh, I've had many kids come through my home with eating disorders. I remember watching one just eat, vomit, and then eat the vomit. Yes, traumatic on many levels. Watch the webinar, Eating Disorders and Children in Foster Care. Josh, I'm hoping you're already a special member of the Foster Care Institute. If you're not, why not? Sign up tonight. Get over 60 hours access to unlimited, Josh. Unlimited access to over 60 hours of online training webinars, CEUs, printable certificates, 12 free ebooks, and so much more when you become a special member for 12 months. For a price you cannot beat. But please know, eating disorders are very, very common for children in foster care, and that child's going to need some type of therapy. That webinar I told you about has many strategies and tips for you to help that child. But please know this, many times eating disorders are a lifelong problem, okay? It is something that you cannot cure, so to speak, overnight. Many times these children will have eating disorders for the rest of their life. I've had so many in my house like that. I hope that helps, Josh. I look forward to giving you unlimited access to all those webinars and so much more. Hey, I've been here in Florida on vacation with my family. I'm on a working vacation. Many calls tomorrow with foster care agencies, clients. I'm coaching some people how to write a book, some people how to be professional speakers. So I've got a busy day tomorrow, but I want to make sure that I get you the brand new newsletter tomorrow. So do me a favor, if you don't get the Foster Care Institute newsletter, type in I want newsletter, type your email address. I want newsletter, put your email address. We'll get that newsletter to you tonight. Josh says, we already have him in therapy. We're trying to do everything we can to help. Great, Josh. Well, then watch that webinar tonight. You'll get so many ideas. And I can't wait to hear from you, Josh, which idea you found the most helpful. Hey, we're done. We have been fast and furious here tonight. We're going to try to do this again next Tuesday. We usually do it every Tuesday and Thursday night. I'm going to try to do it again next Tuesday night. I'll be on vacation still next Tuesday. I'm hoping I can get to you. All right. Check out my newest article tonight about the rise of suicide in children and teens during COVID. That's right, COVID has increased suicide rates for teens and children in our nation and around the world. Check it out. It's a not a happy read, but it's an important read for you. For the Foster Care Institute, I'm Dr. John DeGarmo. Thank you so much for joining us during this Foster Talk with Dr. John. We'll get all those people who want the emails tonight. We'll get that newsletter to you tonight. And people like Josh, and hopefully the rest of you, unlimited access to all of our webinars. Jamie will get that newsletter to you tonight as well. Thank you for asking. For the Foster Care Institute, I'm Dr. John DeGarmo. Thanks so much for joining us. Thank you for caring for children in your home. Thank you for making sacrifices, and it's a sacrifice to be a foster parent for children in crisis. I'm Dr. John DeGarmo. Have a great weekend.